Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows a clear upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $109,600 and a resistance of $119,800. The RSI consistently hovers around the 60 to 75 range, indicating neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility and a potential for further price movement. Considering the forecast, the price is expected to rise to $121,800. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy with an entry price of $117,400. To manage risk, set a stop loss at $116,800, just below the recent low of the Bollinger Band. The initial target price should be $119,800, aligning with the resistance level. To enhance returns, we can implement a trailing stop loss strategy. Once the price reaches $119,800, move the stop loss to $118,600. If the price continues to rise, adjust the stop loss further, ensuring a profit while protecting against potential pullbacks. If the RSI falls below 30, consider taking partial profits and re-evaluating the position. Given the forecast of $121,800, a secondary target price of $120,900 can be considered, but with a reduced position size to manage the increased risk. This combined strategy leverages both momentum and price action to maximize potential gains while minimizing downside risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a strong upward trend. The price has consistently been above the support level of $3,650 and approaching the resistance level of $3,980. The RSI values have been mostly above 70, indicating overbought conditions, but the upward momentum persists. The forecast data suggests further price increases, reaching $4,240 by August 3, 2025. Considering the RSI and Bollinger Bands, I recommend a long position strategy. The entry price will be $3,880, coinciding with the start of the forecast period. The stop loss will be set at $3,760, just below the recent high and above the support level. The first target price will be $3,930, aligning with the first forecast price. If the price reaches $3,930, we will adjust the stop loss to $3,830 to secure profits. The final target price will be $4,010, based on the second forecast price. This strategy combines the upward trend, forecast data, and technical indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP has shown a generally upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI has been consistently above 70 for much of the period, indicating overbought conditions. However, the recent dip in RSI suggests a potential pullback before further gains. The Bollinger Bands have widened, indicating increased volatility, and the price is currently near the upper band, suggesting a possible correction. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. We will implement a buy strategy when the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, and the price touches the support level of $3.13. The entry price will be $3.13, with a stop loss placed just below the support at $3 to protect against further downside risk. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $3.55, aiming for a quick profit. To maximize potential returns and manage risk, I suggest a tiered target strategy. First target will be $3.55, then second target will be $3.65 based on the forecast price. If the price reaches $3.65, we will re-evaluate the situation and consider extending the target based on the prevailing trend and technical indicators. This strategy combines the strength of RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to identify high-probability trading opportunities. The combination of these strategies will allow us to maximize profits while minimizing risks. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a strong uptrend, consistently hitting new highs. The RSI has been predominantly above 50, frequently entering overbought territory above 70, indicating bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, with prices consistently trading above the middle band, further confirming the upward trend. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices predicted to rise from $817 to $886, a bullish strategy is warranted. I recommend a long position with an entry price of $817. A stop loss should be placed slightly below the bottom of the Bollinger Band at $807 to mitigate potential losses if the trend reverses. The target price for this trade will be $886, aligning with the forecast high for the week. This strategy combines the momentum indicated by the RSI and the trend confirmation from the Bollinger Bands. This approach offers a high reward potential while managing risk through a well-defined stop loss. The predicted price movement is based on the historical data and the forecast, and the RSI and Bollinger Bands confirm the bullish trend. The portfolio will be 100% long position in BNB. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana exhibits an upward trend. The price has consistently tested and bounced off the support level of $182, while approaching the resistance level of $196. The RSI fluctuates between 59 and 82, indicating periods of both neutral and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. Given this information, I propose a strategy that combines RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize returns. My strategy involves entering a long position when the RSI falls below 30, which indicates an oversold condition. However, considering the current upward trend and proximity to the upper Bollinger Band, I will wait for a slight pullback. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $194. The stop loss should be placed slightly below the lower Bollinger Band at $191 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price is set at $201, aligning with the previous resistance level. If the price reaches $201, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $194 to secure profits and allow for further upside potential. If the price continues to rise, a second target price of $205 can be considered, but with a tighter stop loss. This strategy aims to capitalize on the overall upward trend while managing risk through strategic entry, stop loss, and target price adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows an overall upward trend, supported by consistent resistance levels and a recent push past $0.27. The RSI has fluctuated, reaching overbought territory recently, but the forecast suggests continued upward momentum. The Bollinger Bands indicate increasing volatility, with the price consistently testing the upper band. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.256, anticipating a continuation of the upward trend. A stop loss will be placed at $0.232, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.271, aligning with the forecast and recent resistance. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at $0.255, with a stop loss at $0.24. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity at $0.255, again with a stop loss at $0.24. We will adjust the target price to $0.282 if the price breaks through the recent resistance, and the RSI remains above 50, indicating sustained bullish momentum. This portfolio combines a core long position with opportunistic additions based on technical indicators, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON demonstrates a slight upward trend, consistently testing the resistance level of $0.32. The RSI values have been fluctuating between 59.5 and 83.8, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation before a potential breakout. Given the forecast prices consistently at $0.32 and the recent RSI readings approaching overbought territory, a strategic approach is to initiate a long position. Entry price will be $0.314, with a stop-loss order placed at $0.309 to mitigate potential losses. A target price of $0.325 is set to capitalize on the forecasted upward movement and the proximity to the resistance level. To optimize returns, we will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands. When the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, we will enter a long position with an entry price of $0.302, setting a stop loss at $0.30 and a target price of $0.31. Conversely, when the RSI exceeds 80, signaling an overbought condition, we will consider a short position with an entry price of $0.32, a stop loss at $0.323, and a target price of $0.31. Combining these strategies, with a weighted average based on the strength of the signals, will allow us to adapt to changing market conditions and maximize profit potential. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows an overall upward trend, with recent fluctuations. The RSI consistently stays above 60, indicating bullish momentum, but nearing the overbought territory of 80. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.853. The stop loss will be set at $0.814, just below the recent support level and the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.893, aligning with the forecast price for August 3, 2025, and a reasonable profit target based on the recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate dynamic adjustments based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI dips below 60, indicating a potential pullback, we will consider adding to our position at $0.813. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, suggesting overbought conditions, we will move our stop loss to break even and consider taking partial profits at $0.902. This adaptive approach allows us to capitalize on both upward momentum and potential corrections, maximizing returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Sui demonstrates an overall upward trend, consistently bouncing off the support price of $4.09. The RSI values fluctuate between 56.3 and 74.7, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trending towards the upper band, suggesting bullish momentum. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. The forecast data predicts a continued upward trajectory, reaching $4.83. We will enter a long position when the RSI drops below 60, near $4.35. The stop loss will be set just below the support level at $4.09, and the initial target price will be $4.69, aligning with the forecast for August 3, 2025. To optimize returns, we'll implement a dynamic trailing stop loss. Once the price reaches $4.69, we'll move the stop loss to the recent swing low, around $4.35. If the price continues to rise, we will adjust the stop loss further to protect profits. The final target price will be $4.83, based on the forecast for August 3, 2025. This strategy combines RSI-based entry signals with Bollinger Bands confirmation and forecast data to maximize potential gains while mitigating risk. This approach balances the potential for high returns with a disciplined risk management framework. Based on the historical data and forecast, Stellar shows a generally upward trend with some volatility. The RSI consistently above 70 indicates overbought conditions, suggesting potential pullbacks. However, the forecast for the next week predicts continued price increases, reaching $0.517. The Bollinger Bands confirm this, with the price consistently near the upper band, indicating strong upward momentum. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position on Monday, July 28, 2025, at a price of $0.486. The stop loss will be set at $0.424, just below the recent support level, to protect against a potential downside reversal. The initial target price will be $0.517, aligning with the forecast price for the week. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we'll consider entering a long position. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, indicating an overbought condition, we'll consider taking profits or tightening our stop loss. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity, while touching the upper band suggests a potential selling opportunity. Combining these signals, we will adjust the target price to $0.557 if the price consistently remains near the upper Bollinger Band throughout the week. This combined approach aims to maximize potential gains while minimizing risk, leveraging both trend analysis and technical indicators. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogwifhat shows a fluctuating trend with support at $1.07 and resistance at $1.27. The RSI indicates periods of both overbought and oversold conditions, with recent values hovering around 50 to 70. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with the price occasionally touching the upper or lower bands. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy leveraging RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will implement a long position when the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band. Conversely, we will short when the RSI exceeds 75, suggesting an overbought scenario, and the price approaches the upper Bollinger Band. Specifically, based on the forecast for August 3, 2025, the RSI is predicted to be around 56.3 and the price is $1.18. Since the RSI is not oversold, we will wait for a better opportunity. If the price drops to $1.13, which is near the lower Bollinger Band, we will enter a long position with an entry price of $1.13. We will set a stop loss at $1.11, just below the lower Bollinger Band, and a target price of $1.25, near the resistance level. This strategy aims to capitalize on potential price rebounds from oversold conditions while mitigating risk with a well-defined stop loss. The portfolio will allocate 60% to this strategy, with the remaining 40% distributed among other assets to diversify risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Immutable shows a mixed trend with periods of both upward and downward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates, with recent values indicating a move away from oversold conditions but not yet reaching overbought levels. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility, and the price is currently near the upper band, indicating potential for a pullback. Considering these factors, I recommend a cautious bullish strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.608, anticipating a continuation of the recent upward momentum. A stop loss will be placed at $0.548, just above the support level, to limit potential losses if the price reverses. The initial target price will be $0.631, aligning with the forecast for August 3, 2025. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at the prevailing price. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it could signal a buying opportunity. If the price reaches the target of $0.631, we will consider moving the stop loss to break even to protect profits. This portfolio combines trend analysis, technical indicators, and price forecasting to maximize potential returns while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a strong uptrend, consistently hitting new highs. The RSI has been predominantly above 50, frequently entering overbought territory above 70, indicating bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, with prices consistently trading above the middle band, further confirming the upward trend. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices predicted to rise from $817 to $886, a bullish strategy is warranted. I recommend a long position with an entry price of $817. A stop loss should be placed slightly below the bottom of the Bollinger Band at $807 to mitigate potential losses if the trend reverses. The target price for this trade will be $886, aligning with the forecast high for the week. This strategy combines the momentum indicated by the RSI and the trend confirmation from the Bollinger Bands. This approach offers a high reward potential while managing risk through a well-defined stop loss. The predicted price movement is based on the historical data and the forecast, and the RSI and Bollinger Bands confirm the bullish trend. The portfolio will be 100% long position in BNB. Based on the historical data and forecast, Jupiter shows an overall upward trend. The price has been fluctuating within the range of $0.541 to $0.633. The RSI values are mostly above 50, indicating bullish momentum, but have recently approached oversold territory, suggesting a potential entry point. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the upper band, which could indicate a potential pullback. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.601. Place a stop-loss order at $0.541, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. Set a target price of $0.633, which is the resistance level, to realize profits when the price reaches a significant resistance point. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 20, it's a strong oversold signal, triggering a long position at the next available price. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, it suggests an overbought condition, prompting a partial profit-taking or a short position. The Bollinger Bands can help predict volatility. When the price touches the upper band, it's a potential sell signal, and when it touches the lower band, it's a potential buy signal. Combining these indicators, the strategy becomes more dynamic. For instance, if the price is at $0.603 with the RSI at 75 and near the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking partial profits. The final portfolio will prioritize the long position at $0.601 with a stop loss at $0.541 and a target price of $0.633, adjusting based on RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Based on the historical data and forecast, STAX shows a generally upward trend, bouncing off the support price of $0.812. The RSI fluctuates between 51.2 and 76.5, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The forecast for the next week predicts a continued upward movement, with prices ranging from $0.87 to $0.916. Considering this, I recommend a long position strategy. We'll enter a long position at $0.87, placing a stop-loss order at $0.812, just below the established support level to protect against a potential reversal. The target price will be set at $0.916, aligning with the highest forecast price for the week. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks below the lower band, which was $0.651 on July 27, 2025, it signals a potential downward correction, triggering our stop-loss. Conversely, if the price reaches the upper band, which was $0.927 on July 27, 2025, it indicates a strong upward momentum, suggesting we could consider taking profits at $0.916. The RSI readings further support this approach, with values consistently above 50, reinforcing the bullish sentiment. This combined strategy, utilizing trend analysis, support and resistance levels, RSI, and Bollinger Bands, aims to maximize returns while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, PYTH network exhibits an overall upward trend. The RSI consistently fluctuates, but generally remains above 50, indicating bullish momentum. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been approaching the upper band, suggesting a potential for further upward movement. The support price is consistently at $0.124, and the resistance is at $0.148. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.142 on Monday, July 28, 2025. Place a stop-loss order at $0.139 to mitigate potential losses if the price reverses. Set a target price of $0.151, aligning with the forecast high and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine the strategy, I will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 30, oversold, during the forecast period, consider a long entry at the subsequent price increase. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, overbought, and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider taking profits or tightening stop-loss orders. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to optimize returns while managing risk. The final portfolio will be a long position with an entry price of $0.142, a stop-loss price of $0.139, and a target price of $0.151, adjusted based on RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Based on the historical data and forecast, Celestia demonstrates an overall upward trend, supported by the consistently rising forecast prices and the price bouncing off the support level of $1.83. The RSI fluctuates, dipping below 50 on July 23, indicating a potential oversold condition, but generally remains above 50. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the upper band, suggesting a potential pullback. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $2.09, placing a stop-loss order at $1.83, right below the established support level. Our initial target price will be $2.21, aligning with the recent resistance level and the forecast price for August 3. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 40, consider entering a long position at the subsequent close price, with a stop-loss at $1.83 and a target price of $2.21. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, enter a long position at the close price, with a stop-loss at $1.83 and a target price of $2.21. If the price breaks through the upper Bollinger Band, take profit at $2.21. This combined approach aims to capitalize on both trend-following and momentum-based opportunities, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Quant shows a generally upward trend, with recent price fluctuations. The RSI consistently remained below 80, indicating that the asset is not overbought. The Bollinger Bands have widened recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Given the current trend and forecast, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $127. The stop-loss will be set at $125. Just below the support level to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $131, aligning with the forecast for August 3, 2025. To optimize the strategy, we will incorporate a trailing stop-loss based on the Bollinger Bands. Once the price reaches $131, we will move the stop-loss to the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, which is currently around $103. This will allow us to capture more profits if the upward trend continues while still protecting against a significant reversal. If the price falls below $125, the position will be closed, limiting the loss. This combined approach leverages both the RSI and Bollinger Bands to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethena demonstrates a strong upward trend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast indicates continued upward momentum, potentially reaching $0.811. The RSI consistently stays above 60, with periods above 80, indicating bullish sentiment. Considering the RSI and Bollinger Bands, I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on pullbacks within this uptrend. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30, signaling an oversold condition, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. For example, on July 20, 2025, the RSI was 67.3 and the price touched $0.46, which is close to the lower Bollinger Band of $0.185. Therefore, I recommend entering a long position at $0.46, setting a stop-loss at $0.4 to mitigate potential losses if the trend reverses. The initial target price will be $0.6, aligning with the support price and a reasonable profit target within the current trend. If the price continues to rise and breaks above $0.6, we will adjust the stop-loss to $0.55 and set a new target price of $0.7. Finally, if the price reaches $0.7, we will move the stop-loss to $0.65 and aim for a final target of $0.811, based on the forecast. This strategy combines technical indicators and price action to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, PancakeSwap exhibits a clear uptrend, consistently bouncing off the support price of $2.77 and showing increasing momentum. The RSI values, while fluctuating, generally remain above 50, indicating bullish sentiment. The forecast for the next week projects further price increases, reaching $3.19. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $2.9, capitalizing on the upward trend and the positive forecast. The stop loss will be set at $2.77, right at the established support level, to protect against potential downside risks. Our target price will be $3.19, aligning with the forecast high, offering a substantial potential profit. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider a long entry. Conversely, if the price touches the upper band, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider taking profit. Combining the RSI and Bollinger Band strategies, the entry price remains $2.9, with a stop loss at $2.77 and a target price of $3.19. This blended approach provides a more dynamic and adaptive investment strategy, maximizing potential returns while mitigating risks.